And what's funny, I mean, I'm a kid from the 70s, but if you remember the show Mork from Mork and Mindy? Robin Williams was one of his first roles. He wore the suspenders. The story goes, and they show it in the preview of that show, and it's part of every show is this white egg. He flew to Earth in this white egg, and at night, I think he would like go to sleep in this egg, and she'd be like, good night, and he would be like, nanu, nanu, and he'd go sleep in this egg, and I'm like, bro, like how much of our culture is that, did someone know?
Yo, what's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody's good. Today is another day, but it's always something crazy to see. So, let's go.
For the first time in over 50 years, America's largest gold depository could receive its first public audit. So, is the claimed $425 billion of gold still there? Well, that's the question Elon Musk in the Department of Government Efficiency is asking. You see, Fort Knox is one of the most secure facilities in the world, and it's located adjacent to the Fort Knox military base in Kentucky. It was established during the 1930s during the Great Depression to secure a significant portion of the nation's gold. It has a strict no visitors policy, and that extends to everyone. There is only one president in history to have entered the gold depository, Franklin D. Roosevelt. In fact, the last time that the public saw what was inside was all the way back in 1974 when they allowed journalists and a congressional delegation to enter because there were rumors that it was empty. Once those rumors were dispelled, the door stayed shut until 2017, and that's when the Secretary of Treasury visited. And now, those rumors are back, and Elon and Doge don't want to just visit. They actually want to go inside and audit the reserves and make it public and even live stream it, which would all be unprecedented. So the question is, do you think this is a good idea and helps with transparency, or is Elon just fueling unnecessary distrust?
Game is up. You're in for a surprise, America. That gold?
There is some incredibly weird stuff on the moon. Like, did you know there are canyons on the moon longer and deeper than the Grand Canyon? Yeah, this is Vallis Plank, and it formed immediately when a giant asteroid hit the moon about 4 billion years ago. Did you know the moon has boulders? I feel like people don't know that. The moon also has mountain ranges with mountains up to 5,300 meters high. Big mountains. It also has these areas where you can see where lava used to flow, and if you follow them, you'll usually end up at some old volcanic vent. The surface of the moon also literally wrinkles from buckling, which creates this cool kind of cantaloupe-like texture. There are also these areas that look like the moon was hole-punched, but really, this is where lava used to flow, and it created hollow lava tubes under the surface, and those are areas where that tube has collapsed. Moon also obviously has these giant dark spots. These started as ancient impact sites, but really the moon was volcanic and they filled with lava, creating these giant lava plains that eventually dried up.
Y'all, a Delta flight just flipped upside down at Toronto Pearson Airport. A Delta airline flight from Minneapolis to Toronto has experienced a crash landing, y'all. So they said upon landing on a snowy runway, the plane flipped upside down. So emergency crews responded to the crash, and they said when they got there, they counted all the people that were on the plane, and all of them are accounted for. But 8 were taken to the hospital for injuries. I'm not gonna lie, if I'm a flight attendant at this point, I'm quitting my job. Here, you can have it back. Y'all, take a look at this video. It reminds me of that movie with Denzel Washington when the plane was upside down. Imagine y'all looking out the window thinking you about to land, and next thing you know, you flip upside down and crash landed. Like, look at that shit, y'all. They say it's because the runway was snowy. But y'all, I don't know, bruh. I'm just not understanding how it flips like that. So what do y'all think it was? A bad era, the pilot, or bad weather? I'm not gonna lie, y'all. They lucky to be alive. Drop y'all thoughts down below. And don't forget to share this, like this video, and follow.
If we go back to 1893 Chicago and the World Fair that took place in 1893, there are cacti all over the place. At the World's Fair, they have all these cacti. They are everywhere all over the World's Fair. And it kind of makes you wonder, was Chicago very warm at that time? Because cacti will not live if it's very cold. They will actually start to fall apart. So what they have done is they have sprayed these places continuously every winter season to give people the illusion that these seasons exist. And the more farther I would go back with the whole weather situation and changing the weather, it's been going on for a very long time. And a lot of the weather, when you look back in time, also doesn't match what it is today. So if you kept spraying these places, you keep people in the illusion that they are meant to have winter all the time. I've even started to think of many places as islands. You know, even like a continent, it's one big island. So it could have a very consistent temperature all the time. But if you mess with it and you spray and then all of a sudden you do this, now you can say, oh, it's wintertime. Oh, it's fall. You're feeling like fall. You need a pumpkin spice Monsanto poison coffee. And then you create all these different seasons, and then you create holidays, and you create all these things, and then it just repeats.
I can't tell you much about plants and things like that because I'm not a green thumb kind of guy. Maybe peyote or something. But weather modification, that is real. And that is a fact. Now that one is real. I don't know exactly where it's from, but I know that the Germans in the Second World War, they had these type of things. I don't know if they created them or the technology was given to them, but they did some kind of a test. It's some kind of a temporal displacement machine. It's like jumping through time, if you will. And when they did that test, it landed somewhere in the States, and they found it. There is a whole story about it. I'll try to find that for you next time.
we've been talking about the fog, right? And everybody's freaking out about the amount of fog that's going around.
Not only nationwide, worldwide.
Well, apparently in the 50s, our government ran this experiment called Operation Sea Spray. In 1950, the U.S. Navy's secret biological warfare experiment in which Seriata marcescens and another bacteria were sprayed over the San Francisco Bay Area in California in order to determine how vulnerable a city like San Francisco might be to a bioweapon attack. They killed 1 American and put 10 more in the hospital. This bacteria affects the gut, the respiratory issues, and the urinary tract. Now, the person who died had a pre-existing thing, and so they were trying to say, like, none of this is confirmed, but then the military confirmed in a Senate hearing that this is actually an experiment that they did. And so they weren't held liable for anything because you can't definitively correlate the introduction of the bacteria to, like, that's definitely what got this person.
Yeah.
But it is beyond doubt admitted that they put bacteria in the air to test if the entire San Francisco region was susceptible to a biological warfare attack. So the reason they said it was okay to do is because this specific bacteria isn't bad enough to make people actually sick. They were testing a delivery system.
Give us laughing gas or something.
But
Give us
that's-
something fun.
But that's what's crazy. 10 people, like, hospital stays, and 1 of them died, and it's like, well, that was just a test and a risk we were willing to run.
It is either there's something sinister happening or the biggest coincidence ever that across the whole nation, people were like, dude, this is weird fog. What's up with this fog? And then 2 weeks later, this giant influenza A, influenza B, norovirus, and RSV is rampant.
Yeah.
I think over 11,000 people in the U.S. have died so far from it.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of scary to know how many operations these governments have actually done on the people. I mean, you wouldn't believe me if I told you the number and what they've done. And when I hear stuff like this, especially walking in it, doesn't give a lot of comfort.
There you are. There you are.
Yeah, I'm not the one that likes to defend these NASA puppeteers and actors, but that seems to me like it's just a camera glitch or something. Maybe they do it just to make it more believable.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is the UFO Report, and here today we have a video that was taken in April 2021, and it was supposedly leaked according to the source on Reddit. Now, the video was reportedly taken in Nevada at the top secret but well-known US military base, Area 51. Now, Area 51 is renowned for strange activities and reports of strange lights maneuvering in the sky, and it's been that way for decades. And in this video we can see some of these strange lights, and they're captured in night vision, with some appearing larger than others, some appearing brighter than the stars in the sky, and they are flying in very strange ways. Now, the strange ways in which they're flying doesn't mean that they're not drones. However, the footage does seem compelling, but there's no solid conclusions that's going to be drawn from it. So we don't know exactly what this is based on the footage alone. There is something very odd about the video though, and it looks to be sped up about 20%, but despite that, what we're looking at is out of the norm, and we'll continue to keep tabs on this video for any updates or conclusions, and try and see if we can find out the actual source where it was apparently leaked from. So as always, this has been the UFO Report, and make up your own mind.
Meet the elusive ghost worm. That's right, the worm that swims around and poofs into smoke as soon as you touch it. Disappears. Kind of like our comments in the comment section on NASA's YouTube page. It's like, hey, was that a harness? YouTube goes poof, it disappears. Or, wait a minute, were they using a green screen there? Looks like it glitched. Oh, poof, gone. But no, for real. What are these rapidly swimming little wormies that as soon as they get touched, they poof into smoke? Well, not smoke, because it's underwater, but something. Mud, dirt. What is it? I don't see anything else but a little wormy, and then, as soon as he touches it, it disintegrates into nothingness. What is going on? Can anyone please? What? Tell me what's going on here. Look at that long one. As soon as he touches, here's one of the frogs that live in that pond. He's devastated. Every time he tries to eat, it just disappears. Now let's talk about this from a skeptical angle. Kind of looked like maybe a feces strand from the back of a fish or something. But it was weird that he touched the front of that long one and the whole thing at the same time just went into the muddy waters. What do you think it is?
This is amazing.
That video was real back in the 90s, and today it's still real. And you know what also happened back then? They launched a program, a PSYOP, to make people get caught or tell the story on how they made these crop circles. Just after this video came out. Very funny. And you should compare the two. The human ones, they look like whack. These guys, flawless.
Let me tell y'all a true story. Be simple and watch this video to the end. We can't talk to wild dolphins. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Let's go.
I was today years old when I learned that it's illegal to talk to dolphins.
What?
In fact, you can get fined $100,000.
No way.
For trying to talk to or communicate with a dolphin.
I can't believe this, guys, but I think I know why. Come on! Yo! What is this dolphin doing? You haven't seen nothing, guys. Get ready! It's not a game. Did the dolphin just bring back her phone that she dropped in the ocean, you mother? Shut up! This is insane! What happened is back in the 1960s, dolphins were being used for military operations. Stop playing with me, son. This video is for entertainment purposes only, and I just learned something new, and I don't even know if that's true. I gotta go look it up to see if it's true. Shut up! It's not a game on you guys. You know how small dolphins are? Stop playing with me, son. It's game for all you guys, and you know what time it's in. What you think? That's why you only see dolphins when you're in Florida. Yeah, when you're chilling in the pool, when you're in a resort, you can play with those and play for dolphins, but you cannot talk to those dolphins back out in the ocean. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game on you guys, and you know what's going on in the ocean. I told you, stay out of there. What are the dolphins hiding from us? That's the real question. What do they know that they don't want us to know? That's what don't you say it. Stop playing with me, son. This video is for entertainment purposes only, because everything I'm saying is not even true. I gotta go look it up to see if it is true, and you guys let me know if it's true in the comments. But I tell you one thing, if I'm ever out in the ocean, and I see a dolphin, and I start talking to the dolphin, I'm gonna look around and be like, yo, bro, I can't talk to you. They're gonna fine me $100,000.
That sounds crazy. Why would you not be able to talk to dolphins? And by the way, that beluga whale is just a sibling to dolphins, not actually a dolphin. But still, why can't you talk to them? Maybe they can actually tell you about the civilizations down there, if you actually can learn how to communicate properly. And that would make a lot of sense that the government and shadow people, they don't really want us to know anything about those places. So, still, if I meet a dolphin, you can bet you I'm gonna talk to it.
I know moving giant stones is something ancient cultures did all the time, but sometimes you really have to ask, how? This is the Yangshan Quarry in the Nanjing province of China, and we can't even begin to imagine how they planned on doing anything with this. Mind-bafflingly enormous blocks that weigh up to 16,000 tons. That's 10 times heavier than the Forgotten Stone in Baalbek, Lebanon, the heaviest official stone block ever quarried. Now I know what you're thinking. Clearly stone blocks of this size were not intended to be moved, right? Well, strangely, there's virtually nothing here that suggests these blocks were meant to stay here. We see these giant holes at the bottom, a common method for disconnecting blocks from the bedrock, and would also be perfect for lifting them, if they even had the technology to lift it, which they definitely didn't in the 15th century when it's thought this project was abandoned. Even today, we would need the most advanced super mega crane to handle something of this size, with the current world record for the heaviest load ever lifted sitting at 24,000 tons by the Honghai crane, ironically also by China. Let's dial it back to one thing that everyone can definitely all agree on. These are clearly not natural formations. Perfect edges, 90-degree angles, obvious evidence of human intervention, and even sculpted knobs along the surface that stick out, which again is a common feature we see in quarried blocks around the world, thought to be used to transport heavy stones. In places like Cusco and Ollantaytambo in Peru, the Giza Plateau in Egypt. The official story of the Yangshan Quarry claims that Chinese Emperor Zhu Di wanted to erect a colossal stele, which is a giant stone monument in memory of his father. So he directed stonemasons to start carving out these gigantic stone blocks, which took them about 8 years to complete, only to realize at the very end that they don't know how to move them and abandon the project. Which sorta just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, the Chinese were and still are notoriously smart, suggesting they spent years of hard work and effort carving out these gargantuan blocks, which after 8 years of painstaking work, they look at and go, actually we don't know how to move these, let's just cancel this project. Kinda undermines their intelligence. And it's not just one, they quarried 3 whole megalithic blocks in the Yangshan Quarry without planning how they're gonna move them. Now, the fringe theory suggests that the weathering on these stones appear to put them closer to 8,000 years old rather than the commonly accepted 600 or so. And that the emperor just found this quarry, planned the whole project, his stonemasons look at it and go, bruh, there ain't no way we're moving these, and can it? Remember, history is written by the victors. If the Chinese emperor found this quarry and decided to claim in the official records that he made it, our history books and Google will tell us just that. Maybe the official records are totally right, but perhaps they really are much older than we think. Carved by the long-lost advanced civilizations who were known for moving the biggest megaliths in history around the world. And strangely, just like the Yangshan Quarry, many of them appear to have been abruptly abandoned. Like some global event took place that caused them to immediately stop their work. In which case, who built this, and how on earth did they plan on moving it?
Yeah, it's just like you said, man. It doesn't make sense that they would build something like that not knowing how to move it. I think they knew about giants and they had a lot of help with them. I think I'm gonna stick to my theories about giants.
Look.
I have a number of items up here at the table, one of which here is a heavy hunk of rock indeed. Has a weight of about a little bit more than a pound, 2.5 times the weight of uranium. It's not radioactive, can never be made radioactive. It's composed of earth, rare earth, clays, and powdered metals, as well as an alien element, mostly from crashed, retrieved flying saucers and the kind that have happenstance to crash in our deserts and backyards, so to speak. It's called Mironite. Now, this is employed in every stealth aircraft, every black jet, throughout the black budget. Also in the very small quantities in the skins of black helicopters, Mironite. And here are some pieces of the metal skin from the crash disk at Roswell. It was given to me when I was 14 years old. My father was visiting one of his old friends in the Navy archives, as well as he was in the Royal Navy in England. And I, as a 14-year-old boy, I says, "Gee, Dad, can I ask Johnny something?" "Oh, go ahead, ask him. Get anything you can from him," that kind of thing. I says, "Well, gee, Johnny, well, do you think I can have a piece of this metal?" "Oh, no, you can't have that." And I said, "Oh, give it to the kid. What the heck? He won't have it very long anyway." Well, I've had it all this time. It's kind of a unique thing. They were able to break the skin of that crap, by the way, by dropping it into a bath of liquid nitrogen, hitting it with a mechanical or hydraulic hammer, and it shattered into little bits. And it was later analyzed and adapted for our own technology.
A big shout out and rest in peace to Phil Schneider. We thank you for sharing that kind of information with us back in the days. We all appreciate the sacrifice you made, and we will keep the fire burning until the truth is out.
Y'all, the next war of our lifetime is going to be ridiculously scary. Let me walk you through some realistic scenarios. And believe it or not, everything I'm showing you is 100% real. Alright, so first picture this. Y'all are able to wipe out the enemy team. You're right in front of a pond, and all of a sudden, thousands of drones come up out the water. Yes, attack drones can now sit at the bottom of lakes and other bodies of water with weaponry and come out whenever they want to. And when you least expect it, bam, they're everywhere. Y'all thought you had it down, but that's only 1/10. Let's keep moving on. Now, if you happen to be blessed enough to survive the drone avalanche, and also the nuke avalanche, too bad they know where every single one of y'all are hiding because they had put thousands of satelloons right above our head. But even more dangerous than this is the all-seeing tech soldiers. But not so quick, my friend, because you still gotta deal with the holograms. Enemy countries will be actively throwing holograms in the sky to make people think their gods are coming. And in conjunction with the satelloons, they'll make you be able to hear it too. And many people at this moment will let their guard down and boom. Alright, so somehow you made it through all that stuff. Now the iron mixed with clay can start looking for you. And these AI techno-soldiers can see your heat signatures. They can basically read your thoughts. You think it's far-fetched? Your phone camera does that. Somehow you win, you defeat them, you call your dog to go home, but boom, it's not your dog. It's a robo-dog, he has a flamethrower, and you're done.
You know, this is the most saddest thing that I have ever seen in this world. You have the potential to build something so cool, innovations that boggles the mind. And what do you do with it? You want to use it for war. And then you wonder why humanity is trapped in this prison. I mean, if you keep being a war-type civilization, none of the other species will want you around. You're dangerous. Please shift that mindset. Tell your government to stop doing this. Stop creating weapons of war. And start creating things that will actually benefit your lives instead of taking them. None of us want any part of your wars.
This is the reason they distract us with sports and celebrities.
This is exactly why I don't watch sports.
My man is about to drop truth bombs. Watch this.
The reason why the Romans used to say that if you want to keep people distracted, you simply give them bread and circuses.
They don't want you to question the system.
Because they knew that if people were fed and entertained, then they wouldn't question anything and they wouldn't think for themselves. And you see, modern day sports is the exact same thing. People yell at TVs, they memorize stats, they argue over other players, and they even wear another man's last name on their back to vicariously live through them.
Remember, idolization is a very dangerous thing, y'all.
You see, all of these things happen because they want to keep us distracted and weak. Because when you have something great going on in your life, you simply do not have time to partake in bread and circuses.
You're going to drive yourself crazy worrying about the state of the world. Try to worry about things that only you can control. As always, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Stay weird.
Things will always go around and round in circles. The same ideas, same programs. Why would they change a winning concept? You are the ones that need to break free from this hamster wheel. That's why I'm here, to entertain you and opening your eyes, to let you know how this world really works. It's time to break free from these invisible chains and lift the veil they have put in front of your eyes.
Games. 150 days of games. He's cleverer than I thought. Clever. The whole of Rome would be laughing at him. They weren't so afraid of his Praetorian. Fear and wonder. Powerful combination. You really think that people are going to be seduced by that?
I think he knows what Rome is. Rome is the mob. You conjure magic for them and they'll be distracted. We take away their freedom and still they'll roar. The beating heart of Rome is not the marble of the Senate, it's the sand of the Colosseum. You'll bring them death, and they will love him for it.
Realmente eres una pequeña, ven para acá. Ven, acércate tú, yo no voy a ir contigo, ven. Ven, pequeña. Si eres un demonio que está aquí en este momento, te pido y te ordeno que te vayas de este lugar. Acércate, pequeña, ven. Ven, pequeña.
Escucha la voz de la pequeña, seguro.
A ver, ven, acércate. Quiero verte, pequeña, ven para acá, ven. No las piernas. Ven en este momento, te lo estoy ordenando. Ven tú, yo no voy a ir contigo, pequeña. No voy a ir. Tú no eres ninguna pequeña, tú no tienes un demonio. Acércate en este momento.
No tiene pies, no tiene pies.
Tiene. Te ordeno que vengas. Ven para acá tú, ven. Ven, acércate. Agárrame, aquí está mi mano. Me necesitas. Ven. Ven, acércate. Puedes hacerlo. Ven para acá. Te lo estoy ordenando, pequeña. Ven.
Ay, güey, salió por atrás. Mira, los ojos la brillan bien feos. Vamos, Ana, ven por allá, ven por allá.
Scary facts you wish you didn't know. About 108 billion people have died since the first modern human. Approximately 150,000 people around the world die every single day. Messy handwriting on doctors' notes kill approximately 7,000 Americans each year. You're more likely to be killed by a champagne cork than a poisonous spider.
Alright folks, that's the end of this one. I hope you still remember the drill, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Peace out!
Tiene nada. Ay, 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 ay,